Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we are taking a look at the 2000 AD Brian Bolland Apex Edition. What is an Apex Edition? Well, it is one of these, a large, oversized, slipcased edition designed to showcase the artwork inside. So, let's take a closer look. So as I said, this does include a slipcase which features on one side the pencils of a full-page piece of artwork, and on the reverse side of the slipcase is the finished inked and coloured version of the same piece of artwork. The volume is divided up into several sections, the first of which is the 2000 AD section, featuring artwork from a number of classic Judge Dredd stories, including stories like The Day the Law Died, Blockmania, The Judge Child, and of course the Cursed Earth Saga. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Cursed Earth Saga and its history, this is a story in which Judge Dredd leads a team from Mega City 1 across the Cursed Earth to deliver a vaccine to Mega City 2, who have a outbreak of a particular virus. Now, along the way they have a variety of adventures which include dinosaurs and mutants, slave traders, vampire robots, and a couple of stories that they got into trouble for. In one part of the story we meet a group of characters who turn out to be artificially created life forms, and they all look very odd. And this is because they are based on corporate mascots of actual companies. So we've got some characters that look like giant tablets, and they are the Alka-Seltzer kids from Alka-Seltzer. We've got characters that look like they're sort of puffed up and inflated, and that's the Michelin Man from Michelin Tires. We've got some giants from Green Giant Corn. We've got a character that looks like a giant cube, and he's the Sugar Cube mascot from Tate & Lyle Sugar. And they got into trouble for using these mascots without the appropriate permissions. And it probably wasn't helped by the fact that the mad scientist who created all the artificial life forms looked remarkably like a particular colonel that liked fried chicken, if you know who I mean. And there was another part of the story where they went into a town that had a McDonalds and a Burger King that had got to the point where they were actually at war with each other. And this story featured images of Ronald McDonald and of Burger King, and again they got into trouble for using these corporate mascots without appropriate permission. So they were banned from reprinting these particular parts of the story again. So after that, they could not reprint the Cursed Earth Saga in its complete form because they were banned. And that lasted up until, I believe it was about 2016, when there was a change in the law which allowed them to use these mascots for purposes of parody. So then, once that happened, they were then allowed to reprint the whole of the Cursed Earth Saga in its entirety. And the other real classic Judge Dredd story, which is represented here, I would guess would be Judge Death Lives, which features not only Judge Dredd's arch enemy, Judge Death, but also the three other dark judges, Fear, Fire, and Mortis. We then have the Titan Eagle Comics sections, which feature his cover artwork for the American Eagle Comics reprints of various Judge Dredd stories. And we've then got the early years section, which features a complete Future Shock story, as well as various episodes of Walter the Wobot, which was a comedic story featuring Judge Dredd's original robotic servant Walter, as well as a story from banned British comic Action. Now, if you're not familiar with Action, this is another British comic from the late 70s which lasted, I believe, about 18 months and got banned because a bunch of politicians stuck their noses in and basically said kids didn't want stories with violent future sporting, with police detectives getting involved in shootouts, post-apocalyptic storylines, stories with sharks eating people, and of course that is exactly what we did want. But say the comic lasted about 18 months and then it got banned, and we have a reprint here of one of the stories from one of the annuals. Now, as we go through the volume, you may notice some of the artwork looks slightly odd. This is because it is photographed from the original artwork as it now is, and in some cases the artwork or the paper has kind of yellowed with age and become slightly discoloured and may have this slight yellow tint. You may also notice things like Tipp-Ex applied at various points to obviously make corrections to the artwork, or tape or sellotape at the edges of the artwork there for various reasons. And you may also notice on several pages, particularly on title pages, it looks like things have been stuck onto the artwork, and this is because they have. Standard practice at the time was that the artwork would be done and then things like titles and word balloons and description boxes, things like that would be done on a separate piece of paper and would be cut out and actually glued on top of the artwork. And you may even see in some cases where these titles or word balloons have been glued to the artwork, it now is showing up as brown, where the glue underneath has turned brown and is showing through the paper. Now this eventually changed, and things like these speech boxes would be painted onto a clear sheet which could then just be laid over the top of the artwork. Now we've got no gallery of bonus artwork here because obviously the entire volume is bonus artwork. We do, however, have a little write-up on the back of the volume. Judge Dredd by Brian Bolland, Apex Edition. Acclaimed as one of the greatest artists of his generation for his work on such titles as Camelot 3000 and Batman the Killing Joke, Brian Bolland's work on Judge Dredd helped catapult both the series and Bolland himself to international acclaim. His incredible black and white art is showcased in this deluxe, oversized facsimile edition featuring new high-resolution scans of his original artwork from 2000 AD, showing Bolland's delicate inking brushwork in unprecedented detail, as well as the titles and word balloons placed over it at the time by IPC's art team. It promises to be an unmissable collection for fans of comics and of fine art. This book includes pages from the Judge Dredd epics, The Cursed Earth, The Day the Law Died, The Judge Child Quest, and Bolland's masterpiece, Judge Death Lives. Also included is a gallery of covers ranging from 2000 AD to the Judge Dredd reprints published by Eagle Comics, which brought Brian to the attention of American readers and show off Bolland's inventiveness and sardonic humour. So that is the 2000 AD Brian Bolland Apex Edition. That is it for this video. Until next time, remember, hit the thumbs up below and I will see you in the next one.